What is a DPIA or GDPR's data protection impact assessment? How do you do it? Do you need to do it every time? When do you need to do it? All these questions I answer in this video. Hi, my name is Punit Bhatia and I'm the founder and CEO of company Fit for Privacy. We help you to create a privacy strategy, implement a privacy strategy, and also train your staff. So in this video, I will help you with some questions. What is a DPIA? How is it different from privacy impact assessment? Who needs to be involved? When do you need to do a DPIA? How do you do a DPIA and why do you need to do a DPIA? Sometimes it is also referred to as risk assessment or GDPR risk assessment. Sometimes we also call it a transfer risk assessment when it is done in context of data transfers. But what exactly is a DPIA? Well, DPIA is a data protection impact assessment. As the name suggests, it helps you assess the impact of a process or a project, more specifically a processing that you or your company is going to carry out. So when we talk about DPIA at a broad level, it is about four different things. A DPIA is a systematic description of the processing operations and purposes, that is what processing you are going to carry out and what are the purposes for that processing. Second, it is about an assessment of proportionality and necessity. That is the data collection proportionate to the need? Is it really necessary for the processing? Do you really need to collect all the data? For example, you are performing a marketing analysis and then you want to collect data about the age and you ask for date of birth. Well, that is not necessary. You can do it with an age bracket. So that is an example of necessity. The third thing is it's an assessment of risk to rights and freedoms of an individual. That is this processing going to create a risk to rights or freedoms of those whose personal data will be processed? And the fourth thing is what measures are in place to ensure personal data of individuals remains protected. So DPIA is about four things. First, it is a systematic description of processing purposes and activity. Second, it is an assessment of necessity and proportionality of the processing. Third, it is about the impact on individual in terms of his rights and freedoms. And fourth, it is about assessing the security measures in place to ensure personal data is protected. So if this is a DPIA, how is it different from privacy impact assessment? Well, privacy impact assessment is the term that was used before GDPR, that was used to ascertain privacy by design or review of privacy related elements. While data protection impact assessment, as it is in GDPR, it is a comprehensive review of the four elements that we just talked about. It is aimed at understanding the risks to the individual as well as understanding if the processing is necessary and proportionate, and also identifying security measures. So what is the outcome of a DPIA? A DPIA will indicate if the processing is necessary and proportionate and the security measures are adequate, and what are the risks. When you have identified the risks, there are three options. One is you'll go to your management and accept those risks. Second is you are going to work on those risks, take some measures and ensure that those risks are mitigated. And when risks cannot be fully mitigated, you will reduce them, and on the reduced risk, you will ask your management for an approval. So that's usually an outcome of a data protection impact assessment. Another question is, when do you do a DPIA? Well, the law, that is the GDPR, says you need to do a DPIA when the risk to individuals' rights and freedoms is high. That is, there's a high risk processing activity. For example, you are installing security cameras in your premises and a lot of people would be monitored. Now that's a high risk activity. You must do a DPIA. But more importantly, you don't have to do a DPIA on each and every process, only on the high risk processes. How do you determine whether a process is high risk or not? For that, there is a checklist that is provided by European Data Protection Board you can use to assess if a process is high risk or not. And if you want to get that checklist, that is available for download, and a link is provided in the description of this video. Another question is, how do you do a data protection impact assessment, DPIA? Well, some people also call it a risk assessment or GDPR risk assessment. And when you do it in context of data transfers, it is also referred to as transfer risk assessment. Of course, some companies would create a separate template for transfer risk assessment. DPIA is usually a Word document or an Excel. It's quite a comprehensive exercise that is performed in a collaborative manner. That is, multiple people, usually someone from business, someone from legal, someone from data protection, gets on the table and discusses what is being done, what are the risks, what are the security measures in place, and so on. And when you discuss that in a team form, you fill in the data protection impact assessment document. And when you do that, you have outcome on risks. That's how you do it. Sometimes in a company, it can take an hour or two, and sometimes in large companies, it can take a few days. So it depends. Who is involved in the data protection impact assessment? Well, some stakeholders from business who know about the processing, and some data protection expert who can guide you on different questions and the response, and more importantly, the assessment of the risk. So it's a collaborative exercise between business and data protection expert. And in large companies, you can have multiple people on the table when discussing. Now, another question that is asked is, why do I need to do a DPIA? Well, you don't need to do a DPIA for each and every process, but only for high risk processes. But you do it for all processes, there are a few advantages. One, it helps you understand your process in detail. It even helps business clarify why they are collecting data, is this really needed, and what are the risks towards individuals. So it's good for the business. Second, it helps you identify the risks upfront. Third, of course, it's compliant with the law, so you must do it. And fourth, it is helping you to protect privacy by design. So it helps you comply with privacy by design as a principle or an approach. So in summary, we talked about that data protection impact assessment or DPIA is a mandatory requirement in GDPR when a high risk process is being initiated or modified. So that means a process, new process or an existing process being modified. It is done in a collaborative manner through collaboration between business and data protection team. And last but not the least, doing a DPIA helps you to identify risks and, more importantly, understand the process much better than you would without a DPIA. So my recommendation is always consider doing a DPIA when you have a doubt. Now, if you want to know about the checklist for when a DPIA is to be done, that is available for download, and the link is available in the description. If you like this video, please do click like, comment, subscribe to our channel, and press the bell icon, because when you press the bell icon, it means you will be notified about new videos. And for now, I would say if you need help with DPIAs, you can always count on us. For now, I wish you a very good day